But the one thing you have to wonder is if the Jurassic Park raptors were brown, was this come about because of generations of breeding?
I don't think so. If we're looking at the film universe.
Yes, the film universe.
It's possible. I'm hesitant to say as such because I don't think that a lot of the dinosaurs we see on Isla Sorna in Lost World are part of that sexual metamorphosis, changing from female to male. I don't think that's what happened. I think that, this is supposed to be, the factory floor, as Hammond put it. So it's supposed to be essentially an experimentation ground where, we have this amber with potentially dinosaur DNA. Let's see what we got. So your T-Rex, you can clone a female, and then they happen to clone a male that looks different. Your stegosaurs more or less look the same. Your raptors mostly look the same, but we do see some slight changes in the full-scale models that have good lighting. We don't see the good light, the well-lit versions in the movie. But this is the first time where we see real sexual dimorphism in these animals, and we never really see that anywhere else.
Yes.
At least up to this point. So to answer your question, I don't think so. I think they might have just had, maybe this was a different strain of raptor that they bred, and they moved the first generation ones over to Nublar for the park. But long-winded answer, I don't think so. This might be second attempt at raptors.
Now, I don't know about all of you guys. Did you hear the theory about the reason why they didn't encounter a Spinosaurus? Because they're on the south side, or this is the north side of the island?
I have no idea.
I have no idea if this is still canon or not, but when it was written, it was. The Spinosaurus...
For that thing that Malcolm says, though, remember? He says, it makes me wonder what else. They say that this wasn't on the list, makes me wonder what else wasn't on the list.
That was Grant.
That was Grant.
Oh, was that? Okay, I'm mixing up my movies then. All right, but anyway, that's something. The third, they never really explore that any further, but that's a whole other.
No, we'll get to the third movie. That's a whole bunch of utter shit that happened with the production of the third movie.
But if Spinosaurus was on the north side and they're on the south, that would make sense that they the Spinosaurus wasn't in the territory of the big Tyrannos.
I guess. That
was the initial theory. However, new material has come out, and I have no idea if it's canon or not.
Well, we'll get to that.
The Spinosaurus simply did not exist at this point.
So it hadn't been bred?
It was an illegal creation.
So which means that someone must have gotten back on the island to restart
Henry Wu.
The ultimate villain.
Back.
Woo.
He went back. So when we discuss the third movie, I'll go into all those details. But short answer, Tyler, Spinosaurus did not exist. Which is why the Lost World Spinosaurus looks like this.
So there was a Lost World. There was a Lost World Spinosaurus.
Yes, this is it.
Huh? Pretty bright. That
brings up another thing. I think I already mentioned this, but I think most of the movie was made to sell toys. I looked back at the commercials. I remember the commercials for the Lost World. Especially when the T-Rex skull logo actually breaks apart from the yellow perimeter, and then roars at it. I was like, oh my god, is that gonna happen in the movie? Because that'd be awesome.
I remember fondly when the Lost World would come up on TV programming, they would have the T-Rex doing a foot stomp on the ground.
Yes. That's one of the other reasons why I wanted to see the movie. I wanted to see that footprint that I saw in the trailers get made.
Yes. What am I saying? Yes, I didn't exist. But I get what you mean, yeah.
Hey, Matt. So the hide, is that an actual contraption that people who study animals use?
We call them tree stands, but yeah.
They have things like that. Now, I've always been curious about how exactly. I've tried to figure out how the one they have in the movie works, because it seems to me like you would have to shoot some sort of pulley or cable up high, wrap it around some limb that's really up high to operate a pulley system to pull something up. And they never really show how the mechanics work. And that's just something that I've not been able to figure out. I mean, they didn't bring a crane with them to the island that I see.
No, they brought a car with a winch. That's got to be, that's one tough little car. Pulls up 2 trailers from the cliff.
Yeah, that thing's badass.
It's a Mercedes.
Matt, I know you want one, but that's a Mercedes. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Mercedes.
do you guys have any nostalgia for that Mercedes commercial that would play before the movie
No, there was
on the VHS tape?
No, I don't even remember. God, I haven't seen
Oh
the
my
VH.
gosh.
I haven't seen the tape in ages, and for the last couple of years, I've kind of been tempted to get a VCR.
In fact, I'm referencing something on a VHS tape, and you guys don't know what it is. Holy shit!
We're old. We must have deleted the memories because it was taking up too much space.
Like, but
See, I bought movies. I'd record them from TV. When they were on TV, I'd record them from TV. I didn't buy VHS movies because they were so goddamn expensive.
Well, I got my copy at a yard sale.
Well, see that.
okay.
I had a DVD player when they were showing up in yard sales. I had a DVD player, so I was watching them on DVD at that point. And I still am more or less a DVD guy. I don't watch streaming stuff that often. I like the actual physical disc. Put a disc in a player and watch it. That's what I like to do. So.
Shall I show you my collection, Matt?
Oh, good God. Just watch these other videos, Matt.
No.
I call it the library.
Library.
Now, funny thing is, my parents were like you, Matt. They would just reuse VHS tapes to record every movie that we can get our hands on, which would lead a lot of movie whiplash. So, you know what the Lost World was followed by? What movie? Drop Dead Fred.
Oh God. I feel like this was. I feel like you just mentioned that in the last podcast. Did you mention that during the Back to the Future ones?
No, the Back to the Future one had the Back to the Future followed by the Addams Family.
Yes, that's right. But yeah, good times. Recording. Yes, recording. Why buy the series that only has 4 episodes on a tape when you can try to record the entire series on one tape?
No, we recorded the movie.
No, I mean back. I know. I'm talking about recordable tapes.
Okay. I thought you talking about the Addams Family.
No, what a scam those TV movie tapes were. You only got like 4 episodes.
Yeah.
You should try collecting Dragon Ball Z. That would have been a pain.
Oh God, yes. It'd be even more of a pain if it was the uncut versions. You have to, not only do you have to make sure you don't miss a night, but you have to stay up past your bedtime.
What, Dragon Ball Z Evolution?
No, that does not exist. That does not exist. Get him, Drago!
John, the only reason I know about that is because of one of your videos.
Oh. Well, now that is a throwback. I can't even remember which video I mentioned it.
But
as far as Lost World goes, getting back to the Lost World, I don't know where we went.
We went to merchandise.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's so much merchandise for Lost World.
Tyler, you brought up the watches.
Yeah, from Burger King. There was 2 commercials. One where it looked like it was actually part of the movie, but it was just 2 guys like, we gotta get going. It's like that's a nice watch. And then the T-Rex attacks the trailer.
Oh yeah, that one. Yes, is that a Stegosaurus? No, I don't think so.
And then
Yeah,
there's
I
the other
saw
one where. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I decided to look up the toy commercials, including the Burger King commercial. So that brought the nostalgia back. I actually had one of those watches, and it wasn't the one I wanted. I didn't know what collect meant when I was 7.
And the other commercial was a guy was at a Burger King and he hears a thumb thumb, and there's a radio going on. Like, we have this unusual creature on the mainland. And then the guy goes out and sees this truck dropping large boxes that says the Lost World. Like, sorry, we're late.
But I think all those products stemmed product placement. If you look on the bust at the T-Rex smash,
Yes,
there's a Burger King thing on it.
yes, it advertises the Whopper.
Yes.
Yep.
And 2, with how collectible and profitable the original Jurassic Park toys were, obviously they would try to sell more, simply from, a marketing standpoint.
I wonder if I can find those watches on eBay.
You're going to be spending several $100s for one. You have a better luck trying to find a Jeep.
You know the one of the toys I got when I was a kid? The Hide.
Oh, dude.
Lost World, Jurassic. I actually did have eBay open earlier today, but that was because I was looking for steel books, because I got another little project. I mean, I saw this one guy on TikTok can actually mount his Steelbook Blu-rays onto the wall with magnet sheets.
Oh boy.
But
let's see, Lost World, marketing, toys, callbacks to other films and other dinosaur media. What else can we talk about with Lost World?
$15 for one of the watches.
$15?
15. Oh, hey. 40 for all 4.
There you go.
collector's item indeed. Now, the one thing I remember about the hide that came with the dinosaur, which was a raptor, the raptor was gray and yellow.
Oh.
So it was must have come from gray water.
Like, I'm trying to remember. It was like gray with yellow stripes, or a yellowish stripe.
I have to look that up. But yeah, no, I mean, I remember back in high school before Jurassic World came out. Shows my frickin' age. I spent a lot of time looking at the older Jurassic Park toys just to start collecting, and there was so much for Lost World. The Stegosaurus, which I don't have. I have the Stegosaurus from the first movie.
God, yeah. A lot of there were a lot of toys for that.
Oh my gosh! The first and second movie had the better toys until Fallen Kingdom came out, in my opinion.
Yeah. First and second movie had the best toys. Oh my man!
You shut the video off.
I'm in the glider pack.
Tyler, we can't see you. You shut the video off.
Ian Malcolm in the glider pack.
I know that one. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, I saw the toy commercial. They try to get away from the raptors, so they activate their glider packs. But a pteranodon cancels our flight.
Yep.
The toys for the first two movies did so much beyond what was in the movies. But it was the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Although,
sorry, I just found the raptor I was telling you about.
You did?
Yeah.
I'm
gonna share it.
Oh, the gray and yellow one.
The gray and yellow.
Oh.
send it to John. He'll toss up a picture of it.
Yeah.
All right. It's called a Cyclops Raptor.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. I even saw the toy commercial for that, the Cyclops Raptor. I was like, okay, I'm not a paleontologist, but there's no way that thing exists.
Yeah, showing it to you, John.
But there's the first two toy lines did a lot. They were so creative with what they had, which spawned the very next year. It spawned one of the weirdest Jurassic Park stories that was never told.
We're talking about there was supposed to be like Jurassic Park 4, but they had so many cut ideas.
I'm not talking about Jurassic Park 4. I'm talking about the canceled animated series.
There was going to be an animated series?
In traditional hand-drawn animation, granted, 90s, it was called Jurassic Park Chaos Effect.
Oh,
Man.
Hybrid dinosaurs, like weird, wacky hybrid animals that make the Indominus Rex look freaking tame.
I'll bet they were going to be colorful too.
Oh, so colorful. My first repaint, I took that color scheme idea from Chaos Effect.
Oh.
It's so weird with the creativity they had. And there was supposed to be an android with a gun coming out of his elbow. I'm not kidding. This is Jurassic Park history. And it had the weirdest, most batshit crazy hybrid of all time called the Ultimasaurus. I'm not kidding. It had the genome was a T-Rex, Velociraptor, Triceratops, Ankylosaurus, and Stegosaurus. It was wild.
Ian, John, Matt, I might blow you guys out, but do you know they made a game as a direct sequel to The Lost World?
Yes.
Trespasser?
Yes.
We will discuss Trespasser. We can't not discuss that on the next show.
Right, I know, but I remember. Yeah, I remember you mentioning Trespasser. In fact, the nerd actually did a video on it.
The funny thing is, Trespasser actually has more impact than people give it credit for.
It does, but it
even had a loyal fan base that actually completed the game.
Yeah.
There's so much that the Lost World spawned. It was made and released in the prime time for these big budget Hollywood blockbusters. You had a potential animated series, wave after wave of toys. Video games were released. Granted, not all of them were great. Trespasser, due to the story, of course, technological limitations,
and as well as deadlines.
Yes, and it spawned so much, and Lost World just became, honestly, sort of a cult classic because when it was released, people hated this movie.
I can kind of understand why when you think about it.
Yes, and it's just, people complained that Alan Grant wasn't in it.
I wanted Alan Grant in that too. Honestly, I didn't even recognize Ian because he didn't have the long hair. Not you,
I'm
Ian.
sorry, I shaved. I cut my hair.
Not you, Ian. Ian Malcolm.
Hey,
I didn't recognize Dr. Hello, furry. How you doing?
Oh, kitty.
Hello, kitty.
I'm just kind of curious, Matt. What was your first experience like going to the theater to watch The Lost World?
It was packed. I remember it being packed. We didn't have very good seats. I went with my dad because we had gone to the first Jurassic Park together. So I said, well, we're going to go to the second one. And we went to the third one. And it was jam-packed. We were sitting off on the side, in not the best seats. And I think it was actually down towards the front as well because we were just a little bit late. But I didn't see an empty seat in the whole thing. Of course, this was a long time ago before people had DVDs. There was no such thing yet. So the only way you went to see a movie, you either watch it on VHS or you go out to the movie theater to see it. The reactions, the screams were genuine when the jump scares happened. It was really cool. It was really something neat to see in the movie theater to see people react the way that they did to the stuff. So it was fun.
I just remembered a couple things. We didn't really get to everyone else's favorite death scene.
Are you talking about the guy who got squished?
No, mine's actually my favorite one is Dieter.
Yeah.
I just love I love his screams. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say. I mean, I just realized how weird it sounded coming out of me. But
so it's okay to enjoy that he died because he really needed it. The whole movie. He
was kind of mean to the dinos. In fact, especially the compies. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if that compy that he just cattle prodded. That was a cattle prod, wasn't it? That was something
similar to it. Yeah.
He cattle prodded just pretty much went to his buddies and I was like, hey, there was this douchebag that shocked me. Let's keep an eye on him.
Twice.
Yeah, he was a dick.
He was
probably the one guy aside from Ludlow. He was the one guy that deserved his death.
Okay, Ludlow had the funniest death. Let's be honest.
They cut a scene from Ludlow's arc that would have made his death so much more delectable.
Is that the scene where the actual transition from the screen was to a guy yawning?
No.
Okay.
There was a scene cut from the Lost World after the first big roundup scene at night. He was supposed to stagger over to Roland, Ajay, and the captured baby T-Rex drunk. And he was supposed to trip and fall, and he was the one to break the T-Rex's leg.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He was supposed to do that. I think that was cut for time. But if they left that in, that would have been so much better when the Buck Rex snapped his leg.
That explains it. Yeah, that explains that. But
that would have been so much better.
I just love the fact that that his last words are just wait. It's like, oh yeah, bargain with an animal.
Let alone one that size and that pissed off because you got in between it and its kid. Have fun with that.
Honestly, The Lost World doesn't get as much respect as it should get, honestly.
It really doesn't.
It's not that bad.
Until recently that I've seen.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, there's some scenes that, honestly, were just fun. Oh, right! We keep forgetting this one actor that just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Pete Postlethwaite?
Vince Vaughn?
Vince Vaughn. We have not talking about the Vince in this whole entire movie.
This was his breakout. This was essentially his breakout role. And
nobody knew before this, so.
And let's see. I think I actually on the wiki for this. Here we go. Yeah, Spielberg was approached by the producers of Swingers, who needed his approval to use the theme from Jaws. So Spielberg asked to see the footage of the clip that would be used, and this scene actually featured Vince Vaughn, which that's how Spielberg found out about him, and then Spielberg offered him the part, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And the funny thing is, everyone said Vaughn is the reason why everything happens in the movie.
I've heard they call him a villain.
No, if Sarah didn't go onto the island, they wouldn't have followed her.
But Vaughn is the one who broke all the animals out. Vaughn is the one who replaced Roland's shells with tranks. Or actually, not even tranks.
He
out
just
his
took
shells.
he
With
emptied the
blank-
shells.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Isn't he part of that environmentalist group? Yeah, that Earth First.
Earth First, yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course he would do. Of course he would do something like break animals out of their cages and sabotage someone's gun. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Talk it out?
And, well,
Look
if
it
you
out.
realize, we don't want the Buck Rex to die, but had Roland actually shot him with what he was supposed to use, there wouldn't have been a rampage.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah, that. But I thought that was I thought that was the plan from in the first place, though.
No, he was supposed to kill it. Kill the buck.
So by removing the shells, he used the tranks.
inadvertently caused the San Diego incident.
Okay. Okay, I get it.
So I can see where people are coming from, but the movie doesn't frame him that way.
Yeah. I remember in 2012 I used his quote. It was after we saw the Avengers. Remember, Tyler? It's like when it was after we saw the Avengers, and it goes, just give them the Oscar now. Entries are closed. I like to thank everyone who lost.
Yes.
Oh, so basically Matt was all of his photography at the park. I get it. How the hell did you get the one of Leo yawning?
Right place at the right time. I was just snapping a bunch of pictures, and he decided he'd open wide, and I was like, "Oh, thank you for that, buddy."
Oh, so basically me with Bob. Got it.
Is Leo another gator?
No. Lion.
Oh, he's all.
The big male.
Really? You name a lion Leo?
I didn't name it.
Funny thing is, do you guys know that Sarah Harding was a lot different in the movie than in the book?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
No, this was also the first movie where I saw Julianne Moore. But what was
same?
Yeah, but what was Sarah Harding in the book? Wasn't she just a animal behavioralist?
She would go to Africa to study animal behaviors, yes, but she actually had a lot more use in the book than in the movie. In fact, she killed Dachshund.
Who?
Granted,
Dachshund. We got Dachshund here.
I don't care.
Yeah, she's the one that killed him.
Granted, she did have some help.
Yes, she did have some help. But she also was the one riding the bike to outdrive the raptors.
Yeah, Novel Harding was a badass.
Novel Harding was a badass. In fact, one of the subplots was now, you know, Kelly was actually a conglomeration of two kids.
Yes, I remember there were two kids in the novel.
Yes, one of the kids was stuck in a cage, and the raptor had a key around its mouth.
Didn't that scene sort of come up in one of the Jurassic World movies where they had that involved a raptor and a cage?
No.
This kid was in the cage, just kind of cage like a shark cage.
You go in, animals can't get you.
Yeah.
In other words, read the book. Just read it once.
Read it once.
I think I'll listen to it. I'm actually gotten quite used to audiobooks.
But but yeah, Novel Harding is a badass. They even portrayed her like she's built like no roof.
Like Sarah Connor in Terminator 2.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Sweet.
Great. I know John's next crush.
Ooh.
Novel Harding.
And he even acknowledges the connection of her dad with the park.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's related to
Jerry
Harding.
Gary Harding, the one that helped the one that was looking after the Triceratops.
Mhm.
Yes.
And that comes up in the Telltale game as well.
Yes.
It does.
It
It
does.
I've kind of thought of that as like it's okay. The events are canon, but the characters are kind of in a separate universe because that Harding in the movie has a mustache, and then in the game
He's younger.
and in this and in the game he's clean shaved.
Yeah, liberties.
I think, or just
Liberties, yeah.
or just a mistake in continuity. After all, it was 20 years ago.
But yeah, Sarah is a lot better. And hell, she saved Ian's life. Morphine.
She saves everybody's life.
Yeah.
It was. I do wish they brought more of novel Sarah Harding into the movie. That's my one gripe with the movie.
I do too. Like,
Could she come back for a sequel?
I mean, honestly, hold on, Ian.
I don't think they have.
Which Eddie's death was worse?
I gotta stick with the T-Rex, man.
The T-Rex, not the Raptors. No, him falling out of the hide to a pack of raptors as they tore him apart.
I gotta go with the T-Rex. But the Raptors is so much worse, which we strangely haven't seen that yet in the movies.
Yes, yet we might get it in Dominion.
What were you saying, Matt?
That scene, the death from the hide, the way it was described, the lead up to it in the book was just horrifying, absolutely horrifying.
Yeah.
All
I remember is Edward screaming no as he fell, and that just stun locked me. And oh god, John, you know how the raptors in the book found a hide? The asshole scientist ate a candy bar and dropped the raptor.
Which is why in this movie Sarah said, "What if we expend a blade of trash? It will throw everything off."
Oh yeah, brilliant! Yes, brilliant idea. You know, the scientists also made some dumb mistakes.
Everyone made a dumb mistake.
Even the good guys we were supposed to root for. Like Sarah still wears a vest that has fresh blood from the baby.
Yeah.
Of course, that would bring Dad around.
Yes, and then and they leave food without putting them in the Ziploc bags. And
that's going to bring around an animal.
And didn't she also mention that the T-Rex has the greatest olfactory sense in the fossil record, with the exception of one?
Yes, next to a turkey vulture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
for a scientist, use a big dummy.
They should have used me on that expedition.
Yes.
No, there's some things that are very horrifying in that book that I did wish. Imagine what the attack on the hide would have been like in the movie.
Oh. It would have been rated R, dude.
Yeah, it would have been. Or
I said scenes, not all of it. I want to see how would you escape the raptors in the hide?
God, what?
You don't.
What was that movie? What was the movie rated? I feel like
PG-13. All the movies are rated PG-13.
Okay. Yeah, that. Oh yeah, back in the time when PG-13 actually meant something.
Yeah.
But R's the new PG-13.
Much.
Huh?
But John, did you know about this? One of the things that the Lost World book did that kind of made me angry when I read it was it changed one of the cardinal rules that I read from the movie or heard from the movie. Don't move.
It changed. It changed that.
It did?
It did.
Yep, and the scientist is like, the only reason why he wouldn't hurt someone if he was already full. Anything bigger than a goat would have filled it for days.
It would fill it for a day. Considering that these animals had a high metabolism, they would need to eat every couple days. Minimum.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, they got the visual acuity right in the second book.
Okay.
Also,
God,
in the second book, it introduced I think it's the very first instances of feathers on a dinosaur.
Oh my
in the
God.
series.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the deleted scene page on the Jurassic Park wiki. My God, how the heck do we only get 2 deleted scenes from the DVD when there's so much more that were even captured? It looks like some were even filmed, especially the how Ludlow injures the baby,
which should have been in the movie to begin with.
Yes.
Funny enough, so you remember the girl screaming? It cuts to Ian Malcolm on a train. So, funny thing is, there was a guy on there that was supposed to play as Levine.
Oh, that guy.
Huh?
That guy.
Yeah.
Long dark haired dude.
The one that goes.
No. He was on the train with Ian.
Oh. Who's Levine again? You're not talking about Avril Lavigne.
Ooh. Main character from the book.
Which one?
The Lost
The
World.
second one.
Okay. Sorry, I think it's starting to get a little late for me.
Oh, I don't want to hear it. Me and Matt are in a completely different time zone.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Lost World has become honestly an icon in the franchise. It started off as really a 50-50 split on that, whether you love it or hate it. And these days, I think
More people
just
like
about
it.
everybody loves it.
I think cult classic is the best way. What you said, Ian, cult classic is the best way to categorize it because it kind of hits all the categories of being a cult classic. It's in terms of what regular cult status films are. It actually, like Tremors, it is kind of the logic in the movies are something that you really do have to suspend your disbelief on for some scenes. Like the whole fact that like there was actually a second island where we bred dinosaurs, but didn't we just see you breeding dinosaurs on the first one? Yeah, that was just for show. This is the real island. Oh,
Yeah, that was
I've been
quite-
every single creature. Well, apparently not, because they're breeding on a different island. So
and then you got a monster chase through the city at the near the end of the movie. You got supposed to have some kind of moral message that even the good guys can't even follow. But overall, it's kind of an entertaining ride.
Oh yeah.
It is. It's honestly, out of every movie, including the first one, this is my favorite to revisit.
And I definitely revisit just for Pete Postlethwaite. I mean, I love the character Roland.
Well, that's reason enough.
Yes. I especially like his reason for just hunting the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he decides to just give the story about the guy who nearly died climbing to the top of Mount Everest without any oxygen. He goes, "Why'd you go up there to die?" "I didn't. I went up there to live." Did not really understand that when I was 7 years old, but now that I'm older and have studied a few philosophies on life and death, it's like, I get you.
Yeah, and I think Lost World will always have a place in the franchise and the fan base because it's a cult classic that impacts the world in a big way. It apparently, sometime after the first incident, Ian Malcolm went on TV and he told what happened. violating an agreement contract he signed.
An NDA.
Yes. Non-disclosure agreement. And he did that. And then when he went on, that's obviously a breach of that NDA. And Ludlow made him look like a laughing stock, which ruined his reputation. And everyone forgot about what Malcolm said about Jurassic Park and moved on. Lo and behold, he was right. Malcolm was right. He's always right.
And seeing as how it seems his reputation was restored, seeing as how he came back for a scientific hearing in Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, people trust him now because he was right. And he's honestly he was actually Crichton's voice. He is the voice of Michael Crichton in the books. And may Crichton rest in peace. I know he's been gone for a long time now, but when Malcolm speaks, you have to hear Crichton through him. He is the voice of Crichton, the voice of reason in this franchise at this point. And honestly, I think that's something we all need now.
Yeah. Oh,
Funny thing, you guys. This actually might have been a brilliant move on Spielberg's part when he did a Jurassic Park movie by keeping I can't think of his name. Richard Attenborough's character, Hammond.
Yes.
Keeping Hammond alive. There's actually a brilliance of that. You know why? Because I just thought of it and I just realized Hammond could just easily give the most straightforward exposition to just get our characters to the island as quick as possible, because there was no Hammond in the book.
No, Hammond died in the first book.
Yeah.
And the characters had to piece together via computer files.
Yeah.
He printed out files and computer files that they accessed, and it was...
God, yeah.
And this just simplified things a lot more.
I remember they'd actually had to do process of elimination to find the island where Site B was. And I like the intricacy. It finally gave backstory as to why Isla Sorna and apparently the other islands are called the Five Deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank God. Just got straight to the dinos.
Yeah, it gets straight
absolutely,
to Spielberg knows why everyone is going to the theaters for this movie. It's for the dinos. That's why.
Yeah, and this gives us a lot more dinosaurs than the first movie.
Yes.
But honestly, I would say that this movie made me appreciate the character of Ian Malcolm so much more than the first one.
Oh, absolutely.
Although, okay, so I do have to ask: wouldn't the NDA described that he wasn't supposed to disclose anything that happened on the island? Wouldn't that agreement have been null and void after the whole, I don't know, power shutting down, all the dinosaurs getting released?
The court hearings about what exactly happened?
Yes. Wouldn't those events kind of nullify that agreement?
I believe what was happening was InGen agrees to pay his bills.
Yeah, his medical bills.
And they swept it under the rug.
I'll have to talk to my lawyer friend. I will get back to you on that one, John.
Okay, because I'll
have to talk to her about NDAs.
Because I kind of have a feeling that they really don't have any legal grounds for at least that defamation of character.
Yeah, I don't know. I will reach out to my lawyer friend and I will see what she says about that.
Hiccup, how'd you get over at Matt's place?
Oh my God.
Move.
Father, it is late. What are you doing up at this hour?
Okay, I think. All right, we're actually now reaching the end of the meeting. I'm actually kind of glad I set this for 2.5 hours just in case because I had a feeling we were going to
go on and on and on.
We were going to go on. We were going to really talk about this.
Oh, absolutely. Well, how can we not? It's the Lost World.
It's Jurassic Park. It's
based on our last Jurassic podcast. This is to be expected.
Yeah. Okay, so I see we move on. We move on to ratings, everybody.
Ratings.
All right, I guess I'll go first, and I'll also remember to wait for all of us to give our ratings. I remember what happened last time. All right, so yeah, as a kid, I enjoyed Jurassic. I enjoyed The Lost World, and even despite all the criticisms and some of the choices that the characters made that are just don't make a lick of sense, it is still very entertaining, and I'm kind of glad it was Spielberg that kind of gave us this ride. So although not as good or as whimsical as the first movie, I would give The Lost World Jurassic Park 8 squashed Carters out of 10. All right, who's next?
Go ahead, Tyler.
Honestly, I would give it 8.5 Eaton Ludlows out of 10.
Reasoning?
Well, I wasn't here for the Jurassic Park podcast, the original one, which honestly that was just a 10 out of 10 just because despite the major flaws, it's
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. I never once thought the magic was taken away, though there's some of the things that only took until you're an adult to understand, to fully appreciate, honestly. As a kid, it might go over your head, honestly, to appreciate some of the finer things the movie would give you. But honestly, it was just a fun ride. Especially since I got to see a T-Rex rampaging through San Diego. Which, again, I'll give it 8.5 dog chicken wings out of 5.
All right, Matt.
Okay, so it's an enjoyable movie. I enjoyed it the first time I watched it. I've enjoyed it every time that I've watched it since. There are problems with it. It's a good movie. It's not a great movie. It could be a better movie had some other decisions been made. Given that, it is still a fun, enjoyable experience. I like all the scenery changes. I like that they go from the island all the way to, the city. I think that's kind of cool. It's a neat change of pace to see the dinosaurs out of their natural habitat, or at least the dinosaur, just the T-Rex rampaging, because I think that's something that people had always wanted to see. What does it look like when a dinosaur gets in the city? Dino's big day in the city, essentially, is what it came out to be. So that was kind of cool to see. But, there were some things there were some flaws that could have been fixed. All in all, I would have to say about 8 goofy gymnastics routines that seemed out of place out of 10.
Is that good or bad?
Well, I guess it's good.
It's his rating. So who are we to judge?
Yeah,
scale isn't the best.
The Lost World Jurassic Park has always held a special place in my heart. I've loved it ever since I found that VHS tape at a yard sale way back when, and it held that position fairly steadily throughout my life. It's not as good as the first movie. I don't think anything ever will be, but it's still so enjoyable. It's made a couple questionable decisions and a few tonal changes in the transition from the island to San Diego, but I can forgive that. It's such a good movie. We see so much more. It builds out the lore and the world of Jurassic Park. It lets us see a whole bunch of new animals, which is always good to see. And it gives us something of a hopeful thing to look back on, because this is the last Jurassic Park movie that Richard Attenborough ever appeared in.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, just for Richard Attenborough, just for him showing up in the movie for some exposition to tell us about the island, and at the end with that remarkable speech. Great acting, by the way. It's something that always gives me chills at the end of the movie, hearing that speech end and that theme come over, seeing those dinosaurs living on Isla Sorna normally as animals should. It gives me a sense of hope for the dinosaurs and their continued survival. Granted, as we soon realize, that doesn't always work out. But regardless, Lost World, I have to give it 9.5 out of 10 T-Rex rampages.
All right. It was really good. And with that, we hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you find some good Black Friday deals. And do join us next month when we are going to be taking a look at a sequel to another superhero movie that just in time for let's say another certain web slinging movie coming out in theaters. All right, so until then, my name is I'm so tired. I'm tired right now. I'm going to bed. Good night.
Night.
All right, I guess I'll close out.
No, I'm kidding. So until next time, I'm John Murphy.
I'm Ian Benoit.
Tyler Tyson.
Matt Brewster.
Signing off.